It's the business end of the Premier League season. Yes guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today this is my Game Week 29 Premier League predictions. It's the business end of the season, so make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and let's get into my Game Week 29 Premier League predictions. Okay, then, and the first game is a huge game at the Etihad Stadium. What a game, by the way, to kick off the weekend in the Premier League. It is Manchester City against Liverpool, 2nd versus 6th in the Premier League. Of course, Manchester City fighting it out with Arsenal for the title, whilst Liverpool are fighting it out with Newcastle and Tottenham for a place in the top 4. Man City, their last game was a 6-0 win in the FA Cup against Burnley. Haaland scored a hat-trick, and it was just a very good performance by City. Liverpool, their last game was a few weeks ago now, as it was the second leg defeat by Real Madrid. And to be fair to Liverpool, their next 3 games are very difficult. They've got City tomorrow. On Tuesday, they've got Chelsea away. And on Sunday, next Sunday, they've got Arsenal at home. So they got 3 of the big 6 in 9 days. 9 days. That is, I feel bad. But yeah, of course, every FPL manager, including myself, is just questioning, is Erling Haaland going to start for Manchester City tomorrow? I think Pep Guardiola said in his press conference that he has a doubt, and he doesn't think that Haaland will be involved in the squad tomorrow. But Liverpool, they are missing some big injuries. They are missing Luis Diaz. They're missing Bajcetic, Thiago. Darwin Núñez has got a knock, so he's doubtful as well. So I don't know if he's got. But I don't have Núñez in my FPL anyway. But yeah, for me, it's a big game for both teams. If Manchester City lose this and Arsenal go beat Leeds, the gap will be 11 points. And then, for me, if City do drop points tomorrow and Arsenal do beat Leeds, surely the title race has to be over. But Liverpool, their next 3 are huge. They've got to put in 100% effort if they want to win those 3 games. Because if they lose all 3, probably their top 4 hopes are all but done for. But it does depend on how Newcastle and Tottenham get on in their next 3. But yeah, prediction, for me, you know, both teams are missing big players. Of course, City have no Phil Foden, no Haaland. Liverpool don't have no Núñez, no Bajcetic, Diaz. They're missing some big players. So for me, I'm going to sit on the fence and go Manchester City 2, Liverpool 2. Even though Liverpool have struggled on the road this season, I think they'll get a point out of this one. Okay, then, and the next game is Bournemouth versus Fulham at the Vitality Stadium. And of course, Fulham are 9th in the Premier League, whilst Bournemouth are down there in 19th. If Fulham do win this and results do go their way, 39, 42, they will go level on points with Brentford, Brighton and Liverpool, of course, depending on that. Well, to be fair, Brighton and Brentford are playing each other. Of course, we'll speak about that game in a minute. But to be fair, I've said it most of the season. What a job Marco Silva's done at Fulham. But the problem is though, for Fulham, of course, in their last game, which was against Manchester United in the FA Cup, they've got no Mitrovic, they've got no Willian, and Marco Silva is not going to be on the dugouts. Them 3 all got a red card in the space of 60 seconds. I know, 3 red cards in a minute. That is incredible. And to be fair, last time I watched Bournemouth, which was against Liverpool, I thought Bournemouth were incredible, and especially Utara. Utara is very good, but Bournemouth, their last game against Villa wasn't so great. Apparently, I didn't watch the game, but a few of my mates went to the Villa game who were Villa fans, and to be fair, Villa just apparently were the better team. But yeah, for me, I think Fulham will struggle. You know, they've got no Willian, they've got no Mitrovic, 2 big players not in the squad. They got no manager. So this is a chance for Bournemouth to maybe get 3 points and shock Fulham here. But I'm going to sit on the fence and go Bournemouth 2, Fulham 2. I think Bournemouth will get something out of this, and it's going to be a draw. Okay, then, and the next game, it is Arsenal versus Leeds at the Emirates. And actually, I'm at and as I am recording this, Cody Hewitt is at the Emirates Stadium right now. So Cody, for watching this, fuck you. I'm only joking. But yeah, anyway, of course, Arsenal, their last game, they absolutely battered Crystal Palace 4-1. They actually battered Crystal Palace 4-1. Of course, they have got another relegation side in Leeds. Of course, Leeds, they did beat Wolves 4-2 in their last game. Huge result that for Leeds. Against the Wolves side, it's done well under Julian Lopetegui. You've got to give credit to Leeds. But it's going to be a really tough task for Leeds to go to the Emirates and win. Arsenal have only lost 3 games this season. Arsenal have played 28 games. Arsenal have only played 28 games this season, and they've only dropped points on 6 occasions. So that's actually not that bad. But Arsenal, I think they are going to win. I think Leeds have got no hope. But you never know. You never know with Leeds. One week they can be crap. The other week they can turn up and win. And Leeds sometimes against the big teams can be good. I remember in the 2020-2021 season, Leeds went to Man City away and Leeds won. So Leeds can sometimes turn up against the big teams, but Leeds are just going to get battered. So I'm going to go Arsenal 3, Leeds 0. I'm going to go 3-0 to Arsenal. Okay, then, and the next game is kind of a big game in a sense at the Amex. And it is Brighton versus Brentford, 7th versus 8th. And who would expected Brighton and Brentford to be fighting for Europe? It is unbelievable. Thomas Frank and Roberto De Zerbi doing brilliant, of course. You know, Brighton, of course, did lose Graham Potter to Chelsea. But, of course, they've brought in Roberto De Zerbi. And to be fair, he's done a fantastic job. And to be fair, you've got to give credit to Thomas Frank, because loads of people thought at the start of the season, second season syndrome. Brentford are going to be struggling, but they've proved everyone wrong again. And yeah, it is. Imagine Brentford in Europe. That is going to be crazy. If Brentford do get Europe, then fair play. Because 2 years ago they were playing at Griffin Park in the Championship, and you never know. Come next season, Brentford could be playing at the GTEC Community Stadium. Potentially in the Conference League or the Europa League. And even if Brentford do get Conference League, it's still European football at the end of the day. But to be fair, Brighton at home can be good on their day, because Brighton, I did watch them last time out as they battered Grimsby Town 5-1 in the FA Cup. Brighton were very good that day. Brentford, disappointing result last time out, 1-1 versus Leicester. Not a result that Brentford would have wanted, but to be fair, Brentford, they've got 3 big games, because they've got Brighton tomorrow away, they've got Man United away, and then they've got Newcastle at home. So those are 3 big games coming up for Brentford. But Brentford can be good on their day. Brighton can be good at home. So I'm going to sit on the fence and go Brighton 2, Brentford 2. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. Of course, the next game, it is a relegation scrap at Selhurst Park, and it is currently the 2 worst teams on form in the league at the moment. It is Crystal Palace versus Leicester, and of course, a lot has happened at Crystal Palace since I last did a Premier League predictions course. Last time I did a Premier League predictions, Patrick Vieira got the sack, and of course, their caretaker manager took charge against Arsenal, and they got battered. And Crystal Palace have reappointed Roy Hodgson into the end of the season. Now, it's not a good appointment, is it? But Palace haven't won a game since the 31st of December. 31st of December. Do you not understand how long ago that was? But to be fair to Palace, they've got some huge games. Look, listen to this. So Crystal Palace have got Leicester at home, Leeds away, Southampton away, Everton at home, Wolves away, and West Ham at home. So from tomorrow into the end of this month, pretty much Crystal Palace this whole month have got all the relegation teams. They've got all the relegation teams, pretty much. Well, all the candidates to potentially get relegated. So, you know, tomorrow tomorrow against Leicester, Palace got to show up. You know, Leicester are struggling. Leeds on the 9th of April. They've got to show up. Southampton, Everton, Wolves, West Ham. They're all big games. This whole month for Palace, really, come on. Look, Palace, look, because you've got Southampton. Oh, who did I just say? Oh, I can't remember. But Palace, looking at the teams they're playing against, they're all down there. Those teams are down there with Palace, trying to survive, trying to not get relegated. But Leicester, last time out, 1-1 versus Brentford. That's a really good result for Leicester, considering where Brentford are as well. That's a really good result for Leicester. But for me, you know, Roy Hodgson's first game back, didn't do too well last time at Palace. So for me, I'm gonna back Leicester here and go Palace 1, Leicester 3. I'm gonna go 3-1 to Leicester. Okay, then, and the next game is at the City Ground. It is a relegation-ish scrap. It is Nottingham Forest versus Wolves. Now, Forest, last time out for them, they did suffer a 2-1 defeat against Newcastle, and it was so cruel of them as well. They conceded in Jesus Christ, it is absolutely chucking it down outside. Let me show you the weather right now. Look at that. It is chucking it down. But yeah, anyway, that doesn't matter. Oh, that doesn't matter. Yeah. Forest, last time out, heartbreaking defeat against Newcastle. It was a handball from Nikate, and he even knew when he was jumping down, it was like that. He couldn't believe it. Of course, Newcastle scored to win it in the last minute. And man, I feel so bad. But to be fair to Forest, it's a game they've got to win. The next 2 games are away, and we all know Forest are not good away. They've got Leeds and Villa away, which they'll probably lose. Then they've got Man United, Liverpool, Brighton, and then Brentford. So, to be fair, all of Forest's games are big, probably apart from Villa, because Villa are mid-table at the moment. So, but every game for Forest, apart from that Villa game, is massive for them. Wolves, of course, they did lose to Leeds last time out. Disappointing there for Wolves. But I don't know what happened, yeah. But I think I don't know who it was. I think one of the Wolves or Leeds players got injured or something, and I think the Leeds player was going to put the ball out, and then Wolves just stopped, and then Leeds then the player passed the ball to Rodrigo. Then Leeds scored. So I think that's why Wolves were angry. I know Ollie will know because he went to the game. But to be fair, this game could go either way. This could be a Forest win or a Wolves win. Wolves are doing decent under Lopetegui. Forest are good at home. For me, I think this will be a draw. I'm going to go with another 2-2. So my prediction is Forest 2, Wolves 2, 2-2. Okay, then now we move on to the boring game of the weekend, the mid-table derby. Chelsea versus Villa at Stamford Bridge. Now, Chelsea, last time out for them, they did draw 2-2 with Everton. And of course, I watched the game, and to be fair play to Everton, because they did very well. Villa, last time out, 3-0 versus Bournemouth. Villa are unbeaten in 4, so they'll be feeling confident coming into this game. And so will Chelsea, to be fair, because they've started to get back on form, which is good for them, even though a draw against Everton isn't the best result. But I've said it in most recent videos. Unai Emery, he's done so well at Villa. Come on, they beat Man United, Spurs. I don't know. How is Unai Emery doing this? I don't know. But for me, wait, what players are missing for Villa? I actually don't know. Let me have a look. What players are missing for Villa? Well, Villa are missing. Villa are actually missing Matty Cash because he got injured in the Poland game against Czech Republic during the international break. So I'm sure that will annoy a few Villa fans. But Chelsea, they're missing, Mason Mount, Azpilicueta, Mendy. They're missing big players. So it probably will be difficult. But prediction, I'm going to go with another draw and go Chelsea 1, Villa 1. I think it'll be 1-1. Okay, then the next game is a huge game at the London Stadium on Sunday. It is West Ham versus Southampton. Two teams who are down there in the relegation battle. And for West Ham, this is a game that they've got to win. And like I said, considering the players West Ham have got, this is a game that they have got to win. But Southampton will go into this game with a 5. They'll want to stay in the Premier League. They are the side who are bottom of the league. But to be fair, they are only 2 points off Leicester in 17. So if they win and results go Southampton's way, Southampton could be out of the relegation zone by Tuesday or Monday. Of course, Everton have got Spurs on Monday. But yeah, anyway, for me, I think this is going to be a West Ham win. Southampton 3-3 draw against Spurs. Second half was very good from them. And they were losing 3-1 with 10 minutes left, and the way they came back was very good. But for me, I think West Ham have got this, so I'm going to go West Ham 2, Southampton 0, 2-0 to West Ham. Okay, then, and the next game is a rematch of the Carabao Cup final, Newcastle versus Manchester United at St James's Park. And of course, these two did meet last month, where Manchester United beat Newcastle 2-0 in the Carabao Cup final. And of course, last time they played in the Prem, it was 0-0 at Old Trafford. And to be fair, the last 2 games have been draws. It was 1-1 at St James's Park in 2020 and in 2021. And earlier this season, in October, it was 0-0. Of course, Newcastle fighting for a place in the Champions League. Manchester United have kind of been drawn into it. So because of that, kind of fighting for a place in the top 4 as well. But I think United surely will be getting UCL football next season. But to be fair, United are missing some big players. No Rashford, no Varane, no Casemiro, no Eriksen or Garnacho. So there are some big players out for Manchester United. Well, Rashford, we're not sure yet. Ten Hag says he hopes Rashford will be fit to play in this game. Of course, Rashford did pull out the England squad. I think he went to New York. He's come back and he has trained with United. So, and to be fair, he looks alright looking at the stuff I've seen. So he might travel up. I don't know. But if Rashford does play, Newcastle gotta try keep him quiet. I know he hasn't really scored that much recently. Well, I don't know anyway. I can't really remember that goal. Did he score against Fulham? Did he score against Fulham? I don't think he did. But I can't remember last time Rashford scored, I'm not going to lie. But to be fair, Newcastle at home, the fans always get behind their team. And, Newcastle, I think, United got to watch out for Maximan. So Maximan scored a very good goal last time these two played each other at St James's Park. So they've got to watch out for him. Also, watch out for probably Guimaraes in midfield. He's good. But prediction for this one, I'm going to go Newcastle 1, Man United 1. So I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. Okay, then now moving on to the Monday Night Football, and it is Everton versus Tottenham. Now, of course, Tottenham, yes, we have sacked Antonio Conte, and we have got Christian Stellini as interim manager to the end of the season, and we got Ryan Mason as interim assistant manager until the end of the season. Of course, I did make a video on it, and I'm sure Levy probably had a big think about it, but he's taken the decision. He has sacked Conte. But yeah, of course, Everton fighting it out, trying to survive. They've got Everton, of course, great result last time out against Chelsea. It's a good result, considering where Everton are in the league. But, well, I don't know. To be fair, we normally win at Goodison Park a lot sometimes. Harry Kane likes to score at Goodison Park sometimes. But Everton will be up for this. They're in a relegation battle. They want to win this, but we're in the top 4 race. But I'll be hopeful. I hope I'm gonna risk it and go 2-1 Spurs. It'll be a tight game, but Spurs are gonna win 2-1. Okay, so we now have a few rescheduled games. Of course, the first one Bournemouth against Brighton. Brighton, this should be a win for them. You know, of course, I did say they would draw with Brentford. But, you know, come on, Bournemouth, this should be an easy win for Brighton. So I'm going to go 3-0 Brighton. Leeds, Nottingham Forest, 2 teams down in relegation. Of course, Forest don't have a good away record, so I think Leeds will win that one 2-1. Leicester Villa, bit of a Midlands derby. Leicester struggling. Villa doing well under Unai Emery. I'm going to go 2-0 Aston Villa. Chelsea Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. Of course, these two drew 0-0 at Anfield. But Liverpool have improved since. But like I said, they are both Chelsea and Liverpool are missing players. So I'm going to go Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1 for that one. Manchester United versus Brentford. Brentford, big game for them. If they win or even get a point, then fair. Man United, of course, will Rashford be back? Will they have their players back for then? Who knows? But I think United will narrowly win that game 2-1. And of course, the last game is West Ham versus Newcastle at the London Stadium. For me, West Ham, that could be a really good game, I'm not going to lie. I think West Ham will show a fight. But I think Newcastle will nick it and go 2. I think Newcastle will nick it, so I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Smash like, subscribe, and I'll see you next video in a bit.